to increase energy and immunity, like I talked about, improve digestion and treat abdominal pain and bloating, grumbling, which is sometimes a big one for me, nausea and vomiting, acid reflux, which is great, especially as we get into our third trimester, diarrhea and constipation, so regulating the bowels, asthma or difficulty breathing, breast issues, and knee, leg, and pain swelling. In addition, emotionally, it supports PMS, depression, nervousness, and insomnia. So this one point does so much. It's a really great point to just integrate into your routine. So I'll show you one more time. Find the bottom of the kneecap outside edge, 4 fingers down, about 1/2 to 3/4 inch outside the shin bone on the opposite side of that muscle, right in there. So press, hold, press, rub. You know, you can stroke it. And actually, if you do have a lot of tension kind of along the outside edge of your shin, it can be great to do cross fiber, to stroke down, to break it up, and then to flush up with a lighter touch just under the skin to flush back up the lymphatic fluids. So really awesome area to work for nausea, vomiting, as well as general health and digestion. All right, let's see what else we have. Okay, so working with the upper belly is also very powerful for supporting the stomach and any issues that are going on with it. Again, most of these points are going to be regulating and balancing. So these points can be helpful with inflammation, and they can be helpful with weakness, which is really great if you have inflammation and weakness, as a lot of us tend to do. So if we find the belly button and we find the bottom of our xiphoid process, the little bone that sticks out here, you don't want to press hard in that area, but it's just at the bottom of your sternum. So between the belly button and that area, we're going to go about halfway. And this is Ren 12. This is called the conception vessel, and it is a vessel that runs from our perineum down at the very base of our torso. Oops. Dropping my earbud. So down at the very base of our torso and runs up to our lips and essentially our brain. There it connects with the governing vessel, which is called the due meridian, which goes along the back of our body. And together these two form a beautiful circuit that's called the Queen's Path. So when we open up both of these pathways and have them available for our energy to flow through on a daily basis, then we tend to have more health, joy, pleasure, and radiance. So really worthwhile working with both of these meridians as much as possible. So I found my halfway spot. This is called Ren 12, or Conception Vessel 12, CV12. And I'm checking if it's tender. It's a little bit tender. So sometimes we'll have a lot of tension, or often we'll have a lot of tension built up under our diaphragm and around our ribs. And so working any of these points can really help to relieve that tension and congestion and help with digestive function, flexibility, and just feeling at ease in our body. So again, pressing for a little bit. This is another great point to use Moxa on if you do have any weakness. If you have a lot of inflammation, pressing should be enough. Okay. You can check all of the points on that pathway in between the belly button and the sternum. Remember, just don't press too hard right at the base of the sternum there. So just check and see what's tender, and if it's tender, just give it some extra love. It's hard to go wrong when you're working these points. And especially as things get displaced as baby's growing and pushing all of the internal organs up and back, it can put a lot more tension, compression, and create more congestion in this area. So it's great to start working on it now. The other thing that you can do for that is get into the ribs and find the tender spots. I have a lot of tender spots in my ribs right now. That tends to be a place of a lot of tension and congestion for me. And this is working more with the liver and gallbladder meridian. Now we're going to have a separate video for the liver gallbladder meridian, but one thing to note is that almost all of us have some type of liver congestion, which does affect the gallbladder. Especially, you know, if we didn't eat the best when we were younger, we haven't been as diligent about our self-care or supportive care as we could be, and things just tend to build up, whether it's stress, toxins from the environment, waste products from our body, hormone dysfunction, whatever it is. So pressing these points will help our liver, it will help our digestion, so chill out the intestines and stomach, as well as the spleen. And this is because when the liver is congested, it actually has a vein that travels across the body, and when that gets backed up, it starts affecting our spleen, pancreas, and even the stomach. So we can do some nice pinching of the top layers of skin and fascia. We didn't talk much about pinching yet, but I'll do another video on that. And then gently pressing in between the ribs. If this is really tender, just go really light. If it feels really good and you want more, you can lean into it. We can do some twisting while we're holding points, or we can twist and then go back to the points. We can do side bends to help loosen things up. Whatever it is that gets this area moving for you, if it feels tender at all, will be helpful for digestion and for nausea and vomiting. Okay. There are some additional points that we tend to use on the back of the body for general morning sickness relief, but I'm going to do a separate video for those, as you will likely need partner care for accessing those areas.